You see, in this life, some things are not what they seem. A gift is not always a blessing, and not every hand stretched out to give is clean. This story happened some years ago, not too far from here, in our neighboring village of Umuama. I was younger then, helping my uncle, who was a palm wine tapper. I used to carry his calabash in the mornings, and sometimes we'd pass through the village square where all the traders gathered before market days. That was where I first saw Adaure. She was not from Umuama. No, Adaure came from far away, from a small village called Obolo, sent to live with her auntie after her parents died in a fire that burnt down half their compound. I still remember how quiet she was when she arrived. Small, fair-skinned, with eyes that always looked like she had just finished crying. People said she had seen things no child should see. But over time, Adaure grew into a graceful, serious young woman. She was not like the other girls who painted their nails with local dye and chased after boys from the city when they visited in December. Adaure was quiet, focused. She went to community secondary school and always sat in the front row of catechism class. Her auntie, Mama Nonye, sold smoked fish in the market and kept her on a tight leash. No outings, no sleepovers, no foolishness. People used to joke that Adaure was being raised for a reverend father. Now, it happened that the community planned a send-forth ceremony for the outgoing principal of the school, one Mr. Akedi, a man who always wore long-sleeve shirts and corrected you with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. The event was big. Even the local government chairman came. There was rice, drinks, and a small music band. The old men sat under the canopy of elders, fanning themselves and adjusting their wrappers like they were planning a war. At the end of the event, all the students lined up to receive small gifts and envelopes from the guests. Most got exercise books or wrappers. But then came this strange man, tall, dark-skinned, with eyes too shiny for my liking. He wore a white kaftan that didn't touch dust and walked with a cane, even though he wasn't limping. He said he was a friend of education and had come to bless the future of the children. He began giving out white envelopes, not the type with brown edges and dry 100 naira notes. No, these ones were thick. You could see the folded money bulging from the paper. Every student he called received one with a new phone, perfume, or fancy shoes. They screamed, jumped, posed for photos. Some of the girls even hugged him. Then it was Adaure's turn. I stood close enough to see it all. He smiled at her. Not the smile of an elder, but the slow, heavy kind that sticks to your skin. He reached out with an envelope and a red handbag that sparkled like wet charcoal. "This is for you," he said. Adaure looked at the gift. Then she looked at him, and she said softly but clearly, "No, thank you, sir." The music stopped for a second, I swear. Everyone turned. The man blinked, confused. "You don't want it?" he asked. Adaure simply shook her head. "I didn't come for gifts." The man's smile dropped like cold yam. He handed the envelope to the girl behind her and turned away quickly, laughing to cover his confusion. People talked that night. "Is she mad? Who refuses free money?" She embarrassed a guest. Even Mama Nonya scolded her in public. But Adaure just said, "My spirit told me to leave it." Now, this is where the story truly begins. The next day, two girls who took envelopes fell ill. Not small malaria. One of them, Chinasa, started vomiting pieces of wrapper. I was there when they took her to the herbalist at Iyi Ocha. The man said nothing for a while. Then, he looked at the parents and said, "This is not ordinary sickness. She has swallowed something spiritual. By the third day, another girl who collected perfume from the man fainted during morning assembly. The scent of the perfume had turned sour, like dead rats and palm oil. Her skin began to peel like she was shedding. That was when fear entered the hearts of the villagers. Someone suggested calling the man, but no one could find him. The number he wrote on the donation envelope didn't go through. The address he provided, fake. Even the local chairman who introduced him said he didn't know him personally, just a friend of a friend. They called in a seer from Umunze, an old woman with faded tribal marks and a wooden staff shaped like a serpent. She came to the school and walked silently among the affected students. Then she stood still, eyes closed, and said, "One girl said no, the one whose hands remain clean. That girl holds the key." They brought a door before her. The seer looked at her and nodded. "You heard the warning. Your spirit is awake." A door was asked to lead a cleansing. The whole village followed her to the river, where she bathed with native soap and poured libation into the water. She did not chant. She simply said, "Let the evil return to the hand that sent it." By the following week, all 3 sick girls began to recover. Slowly, painfully, but surely. That man was never seen again. And Adaeze, she finished school that year and got a scholarship from a missionary group. Today, she's a nurse, working in Alka, quiet as ever. But if you ask her why she refused that gift, she'll tell you, sometimes the devil wraps himself in ribbon. But if you're patient, your eyes will see beyond the paper. So you see, gifts can be traps. And it is not every open hand you should take from, especially when your spirit is whispering, "Leave it."